The front door closes softly behind someone entering, and a small bell sounds once above the frame. Afternoon light comes through the wide glass windows and falls across the linoleum floor in long, pale rectangles. The air inside is cooler than the street and carries the faint scent of floor wax and paper and something sweet from the soda fountain near the back. A woman in a cotton dress stands near the cosmetics counter, running one finger along a row of lipstick tubes displayed on a tiered glass stand. She picks one up and turns it slowly under the light and sets it back down. The saleswoman behind the counter is writing something in a ledger and does not look up. The glass case beneath her hands holds compacts and small bottles of perfume arranged in neat lines. The light from overhead catches the cut edges of the glass and makes small bright points. Near the magazine rack, a man in shirt sleeves is looking at the cover of a Saturday Evening Post. He does not open it. He tilts his head slightly and then slides it back into place and reaches for life. The rack is made of wire, and it creaks faintly when he moves a magazine. Other magazines are there too, with bright covers showing illustrations of families and cars and food and smiling faces. A few comic books are tucked into a lower slot meant for children. The pharmacist is visible through a high window at the back of the store. He wears a white coat and glasses and is counting pills onto a small tray using a flat metal spatula. Each movement is careful and small. A prescription pad sits on the counter next to him, and a pen rests on top of it. A clock on the wall behind him shows 2:30. The second hand moves steadily and makes no sound that can be heard from the front. At the soda fountain, 3 round stools with red vinyl seats stand in a row. A teenage girl sits on the middle one with her hands folded on the white marble counter. The soda jerk is wiping down the metal surface near the syrup dispensers with a damp cloth. He reaches up to adjust one of the chrome levers, and a small drip of soda water falls into the drain below. He does not seem to notice. The girl says something quietly, and he nods and reaches for a glass from the stack behind him. Shelves line the walls from waist height to ceiling and are filled with bottles and boxes and tins. Aspirin, cough syrup, throat lozenges, Epsom salts, milk of magnesia. Everything has a label printed in clear lettering, and the bottles are mostly brown or green or clear glass. Some boxes are bright blue or red or yellow. The shelves are orderly and nothing is out of place. A small handwritten sign taped to one shelf says, "Cough drops 5 cents." The bell over the door rings again, and an older man steps inside and removes his hat. He moves toward the prescription counter slowly and waits behind a woman already standing there. She is holding a slip of paper and does not turn around. The pharmacist appears at the window and takes the paper from her and glances at it and says something, and she nods. He disappears again behind the wall. A display near the front holds greeting cards standing upright in rows divided by thin metal dividers. Birthday cards, get well cards, sympathy cards. The illustrations are simple, and the colors are soft pinks and blues and creams. A woman pauses in front of the display and touches the corner of one card and lifts it slightly to read the inside. She does not take it out all the way. She puts it back and moves to the next row. The floor is patterned in small black and white squares and has been swept clean. Near the entrance, a rubber mat sits just inside the door to catch dirt from shoes. Someone has tracked in a few dry leaves, and they rest in the corner of the mat. No one has picked them up yet. Behind the soda fountain is a long mirror that reflects the front of the store and the sunlight and the people standing near the counters. The mirror makes the space feel larger. On a narrow shelf below the mirror are glass jars filled with straws and spoons and napkins. The jars have metal lids. Everything is wiped clean. The teenage girl at the counter is handed a glass with something pale and fizzy inside. She wraps both hands around it and does not drink right away. The soda jerk turns back to the syrup dispensers and adjusts a towel hanging from his apron string. The girl takes a sip and sets the glass down carefully on the marble. A small child, holding his mother's hand, stands in front of a low shelf filled with toys. There are wooden puzzles and tin cars and small rubber balls in a wire bin. He reaches out and touches one of the cars, but does not pick it up. His mother is looking at something else on a higher shelf and does not say anything. The child pulls his hand back and keeps looking. The pharmacist reappears at the window, holding a small white bag folded at the top. He says something to the woman waiting, and she reaches into her purse. There is the sound of coins clinking together, and then the soft rustle of paper. She takes the bag and thanks him and turns to leave. The older man steps forward and hands over his slip of paper. The pharmacist nods and steps away again. Sunlight has shifted slightly and now falls more directly through the window, illuminating a section of the floor near the cosmetics counter. Dust particles move slowly in the light. The saleswoman has finished writing and closes her ledger and places it under the counter. She straightens a row of compacts and then folds her hands and waits. Near the back of the store is a door marked "Employees Only." It is closed. Above it, a vent in the ceiling releases a faint current of cooler air that stirs a paper sign taped nearby. The sign does not fall. The man at the magazine rack has put life back and is now looking at a copy of Popular Mechanics. He turns it so the light falls better on the cover. The rack creaks again. A woman passes behind him, heading toward the greeting cards, and her footsteps are soft on the linoleum. The soda fountain girl finishes her drink and pushes the empty glass forward. The soda jerk takes it without a word and sets it in a shallow sink below the counter. She reaches into a small coin purse and places 2 coins on the marble. He scoops them up and opens the register with a sharp ding. The drawer slides out, and he places the coins inside and closes it again. The girl stands and smooths her skirt and walks toward the front door. The bell rings when she opens it, and the sound of the street comes in briefly and then fades when the door closes. The pharmacist is visible again through the window, counting out more pills. His movements are the same as before. The clock on the wall now shows 20 minutes to 3. The older man is still waiting at the counter and shifts his weight from one foot to the other. He does not seem impatient. A display of toothbrushes stands near the front in a cardboard holder with printed illustrations of smiling teeth. The brushes have wooden handles and white bristles and are wrapped in paper sleeves. Next to them are small boxes of tooth powder stacked in a pyramid. The boxes are pale green. The woman at the greeting card selects one finally and carries it to the register near the cosmetics counter. The saleswoman takes it and slides it into a small bag, and the woman pays with exact change from a coin purse shaped like a small shell. They do not speak. The transaction takes only a moment. Outside, a car passes slowly, and the sound of the engine is muffled through the glass. The light inside the store does not change. Someone walks past the window carrying a paper bag, but does not come inside. The child near the toy shelf has moved on with his mother, and they are standing near a shelf of bandages and adhesive tape. The mother picks up a small tin and reads the label. The child stands very still beside her and looks at the floor. The pharmacist comes to the window once more and hands the older man a bottle. The man nods and places it carefully in his coat pocket. He says thank you, and the pharmacist nods back. The man turns and walks toward the door, placing his hat back on his head as he goes. The bell rings. The door opens and closes. Now the store is quieter. The saleswoman at the cosmetics counter adjusts a bottle of perfume. The man at the magazine rack closes Popular Mechanics and slides it back into place. The wire rack settles. The pharmacist is writing something on a clipboard. The soda jerk wipes down the counter again, even though it is already clean. A woman enters carrying a shopping bag from another store. She sets it down near her feet and walks to the shelf, holding cold remedies. She picks up a bottle of cough syrup and turns it to read the back. Her lips move slightly as she reads. She sets it down and picks up another. The bottles make a soft glass sound when they touch. The ceiling fan above the center of the store turns slowly. It does not make much breeze, but the blades move in a steady circle. The pull chain hangs down and sways slightly with each rotation. The fan has been painted white, and some of the paint has chipped near the motor housing. At the prescription counter, a new customer waits. She is younger and wears a blue cardigan over a white blouse. She holds a folded piece of paper in both hands. The pharmacist appears at the window, and she hands it to him. He adjusts his glasses and reads it and says something. She nods. He disappears again. The soda jerk is now slicing a lemon on a small wooden board. The knife makes a soft tapping sound with each cut. He places the slices on a small white plate and covers them with a piece of waxed paper. He rinses the knife under the faucet and dries it with the towel from his apron. Near the window, a rotating wire display holds packets of flower seeds. The packets have bright illustrations of zinnias and marigolds and sweet peas. Each packet costs 10 cents. A hand-lettered sign above them says spring planting. The display turns slowly when someone brushes past it and then stops. The woman at the cold remedy shelf has made her selection and carries a bottle toward the register. The saleswoman rings it up and places it in a small paper bag. The woman counts out coins from her palm and places them on the counter. The saleswoman sweeps them into her hand and deposits them in the register. The drawer closes with a soft metallic click. Light continues to come through the windows, but the angle has changed. The rectangles on the floor are narrower now and have moved toward the center of the store. The brightness is softer. Outside, a shadow passes and then moves on. A man in a suit enters and walks directly to the tobacco display near the register. Packs of cigarettes are arranged in neat rows behind the counter. He says something to the saleswoman, and she turns and selects a pack and places it on the counter. He pays and slips the pack into his jacket pocket and leaves. The transaction takes less than a minute. The child and his mother are near the front now, looking at a display of coloring books. The books are standing in a wooden rack, and each one shows a different picture on the cover. Cowboys, horses, trains, farm animals. The child points to one, and his mother takes it down and opens it to show him the pages inside. He looks carefully. She closes it and puts it back. They move toward the door. The bell rings. The door opens. They leave. The sound of the street comes in and fades. The store is quiet again. Another customer enters, an elderly woman with a cane. She moves slowly toward the shelf, holding reading glasses. A cardboard display holds several pears in different strengths. She picks up a pear and holds them up to the light and then sets them down. She tries another. She seems in no hurry. The pharmacist is back at the window. He hands a small bottle to the woman in the blue cardigan. She takes it and thanks him and places it in her purse. She walks toward the door and leaves. The bell sounds. The soda fountain is empty now. All 3 stools are unoccupied. The marble counter is clean. The chrome fixtures shine under the overhead lights. The mirror reflects the empty stools and the jars of straws and napkins, and the back of the soda jerk's head as he wipes something near the sink. A display of stationery sits on a low table near the greeting cards. Boxes of writing paper and envelopes. Some have floral borders. Some are plain cream or pale blue. A few have deckled edges. Next to them are boxes of thank you notes with simple line drawings on the front. The man at the magazine rack is still there. He has moved on to a copy of National Geographic. He opens it this time and flips through a few pages. The pages make a soft rustling sound. He pauses on a photograph of mountains and studies it. He does not smile. He turns another page. The saleswoman at the cosmetics counter is arranging a new display of hand cream. The jars are small and white with gold lettering. She places them in a pyramid on a glass tray. When she finishes, she steps back and looks at it and adjusts one jar slightly to the left. The elderly woman at the reading glasses display has found a pair she likes. She carries them to the register and sets them on the counter. The saleswoman rings them up and places them in a bag. The woman pays with a folded bill from a small snap purse. The saleswoman makes change and counts it back into her hand. The woman takes the bag and moves slowly toward the door. The bell rings when she opens it. She steps outside. The door closes. A telephone rings somewhere in the back of the store. It rings 3 times and then stops. The pharmacist can be seen picking up the receiver and saying something. He listens and nods even though the person on the other end cannot see him. He writes something down on a pad of paper. He says something else and hangs up. The light through the windows is softer now. The sun has moved lower. The rectangles on the floor are longer and paler. The dust particles still move in the light but more slowly. A new customer enters. A middle-aged woman in a green dress and white gloves. She walks to the shelf holding bath powders and talcum. She picks up a tin and opens the lid and smells it. She closes it and picks up another. She does the same. She selects one and carries it to the register. The soda jerk is refilling the napkin jar. He takes a stack of folded napkins from a box under the counter and places them inside the jar one by one. His movements are methodical. When the jar is full, he replaces the lid and sets it back on the shelf below the mirror. The man at the magazine rack closes the National Geographic and slides it back into place. He straightens the row of magazines so they are even. He does not select another. He stands there a moment longer, looking at the covers, and then turns and walks toward the door. The bell rings. He leaves. The pharmacist is weighing something on a small scale. He adjusts a weight on the balance arm until it is level. He writes something on a label and peels it off and sticks it to a small bottle. He places the bottle in a white bag and folds the top twice. At the register, the woman in the green dress is paying for the talcum powder. The saleswoman wraps it in tissue paper before placing it in a bag. The woman smiles slightly and thanks her. She takes the bag and leaves. The bell rings. Now, there are fewer people in the store. The pharmacist, the saleswoman, the soda jerk, a man browsing near the shelf of shaving supplies. That is all. The clock on the back wall shows 10 minutes past 3. The second hand continues its steady circle. The minute hand has moved. The hour hand has barely shifted. The fan overhead keeps turning. The pull chain sways. The shelves stand full and orderly. The floor is still clean. The glass displays still shine. The light is softer but still present. The man near the shaving supplies picks up a tube of shaving cream and reads the label. He sets it down and picks up a brush with wooden handle and boar bristles. He tests the bristles with his thumb. He sets it down. He selects a bar of shaving soap wrapped in paper and carries it to the register. The saleswoman rings it up. He pays with coins. She places the soap in a small bag and hands it to him. He nods and walks to the door. The bell rings. He leaves. The store is very quiet now. The saleswoman straightens a display of hand mirrors. The soda jerk is polishing the chrome syrup dispensers with a soft cloth. The pharmacist is visible through the window, labeling another bottle. The light has changed again. It is warmer now and more golden. The shadows are longer. The rectangles on the floor stretch almost to the back wall. The air is still cool. The scent of wax and paper and sweetness remains. A woman enters and walks directly to the prescription counter. She does not browse. She waits. The pharmacist appears and she gives her name. He nods and turns to a shelf behind him and retrieves a white bag with writing on it. He hands it to her. She pays. She thanks him. She leaves. The bell rings. Another customer enters. A young man. He goes to the shelf holding razors and blades. He selects a pack of blades and brings it to the register. The transaction is quick. He leaves. The soda jerk has finished polishing and is now wiping down the stools at the fountain. He lifts each one slightly and wipes the chrome base and then wipes the vinyl seat. The vinyl is smooth and shines under his cloth. The saleswoman is writing in her ledger again. She makes small, neat marks with her pen. She pauses and looks at something on the shelf, and then writes again. The clock ticks. The fan turns. The light grows softer. A few more customers come and go, each one quiet, each one purposeful. A woman buying aspirin, a man picking up a prescription, a child with his father looking at the toys. They do not stay long. The afternoon continues. The light keeps changing. The shelves remain full. The counters stay clean. Everything is in its place. The pharmacist counts pills. The saleswoman arranges displays. The soda jerk wipes surfaces. The clock moves forward. The fan turns. The air is cool and still. Outside, the sounds of the street are muffled and distant. Inside, the drugstore is calm. The bell rings occasionally. The register opens and closes. Coins clink. Paper rustles. Footsteps move across the linoleum. Voices speak quietly. Doors open and close. The light falls through the windows. The shadows lengthen. The afternoon remains.